Okay, let's take a quick look at the anatomy of a schema file. Schemas use the namespace at www.w3.org/2001/XML schema. Usually, schema files use the XSD prefix. And if you'll recall back, we talked about namespaces earlier in the title, and we saw them in action when we went through the XSLT examples. So a schema definition typically begins with the XSD:schema tag, and you can see that I've got that here. And then inside the schema tag, I would put in my element and attribute definitions. So for example, I would define an element using the XSD:element tag. And you can see here in this example, I've got an element that I'm declaring named elemName. And then I would put other content definitions inside my element that went along with that element. So for example, I could put an XSD attribute tag in there, and that would indicate that my element has an attribute named attr_name. Now this is a pretty simple example, and things can get more complex depending on how much control and what kind of constraints we want to put in place on the XML data. So let's go through the examples and take a look at the level of control that schema gives you over declaring rules for your XML content.